All right. So, writing linear equations today says given a point on a line and the slope. What's the slope? Anybody remember that? Oh, you say that again, Cindy. Y equals mx plus b, right? You guys remember that? Yeah, that's what I was wondering if anybody remember that. What's the m? That's the slope. What's the b? Anybody remember? The y, what do we call it? Intercept, right? You guys do remember some stuff. Good deal. All right. So if we know a point on a line and the slope, we can write the equation of the line. Right? And it says, right, here's the example we're looking at, the problem. Write an equation in slope-intercept form, which is what Cindy told us, y equals mx plus b. That's our slope-intercept form. Remember, m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept, meaning that's where the line will cross the y-axis, right? So let's stop there for a sec. Could we graph that, knowing those two things? Or how would I graph that, knowing those two things? Let me start picking on people. Taylor Miller, I'm going to pick on you first because I like picking on your parents.
Awesome. Yeah, you can probably graph it.
Yeah, do you know how we start graphing it?
That's a point.
Yeah, where's that point at?
Negative 5, 6.
So how do I find that?
Go left 5. Send the origin.
Right, origin.
5.
Good. 0, 0, the origin. Go left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And up 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. What quadrant is that? Second, yeah. Quadrants. 1, 2, 3, 4. Origin. Good. That was very good, Taylor. Right. Which axis is this? The X. And the vertical one, the Y. Right. And this point is negative 5, 6. We call that an ordered pair. Right. The first number is the X. The second's the Y, because it's in alphabetical order. Right? Ordered pair. Make sense? Simple, right? You can do no problem. Easy. All right, now how do I graph this? We got the point. What do I do now? Since the slope is 3/5, that fraction. Tristan, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Use the slope to find the y-intercept by going up 3, then to the right 5.
Good. So since these are both positive numbers, from that point, I'll go up 3 and right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then all I need is 2 points and I can graph my line, right? Callie, right? Let's get a straight line here today. All right, so there's our line. I should put arrows because the arrows tell me what? It continues, right? It doesn't just stop. If I didn't put the arrows, then it'd be a line segment, right? When I was talking about geometry stuff, which you guys love, I know. All right, so that's how we would graph it, right? If we knew those, or when we know those two things. But we're supposed to write the equation. Okay? So we can substitute 3/5 in for the m, okay? -5 for the x, and 6 for the y, right? Because in the ordered pair, that's the x, and that's the y, right? So that's what they did here. There's our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. My y is 6. My m, my slope is 3/5. My x is -5, and then plus b. So what do I have to do now to finish up? Caleb Collins.
You gotta get the b.
Right, we gotta get b by itself, right? We gotta solve for b. So the first thing to do is multiply 3/5 times -5. What happens to the 5s when I multiply those two? They cancel, right? So what's that answer? -3, right? Because it's a -5, right? You guys understand you can cancel those when you're multiplying a fraction times a whole number. They're the same thing, go away. So then what do I do with that -3 now? To get b alone. Caleb?
You add to the 6.
Yep, I added to both sides, right? So we're gonna do +3. So we get 9. So what's my answer, Nolan? For this, in slope-intercept form, for this line? And we want to put it in this form.
Okay.
And we know b is 9.
Alright, so it's six equals,
We don't have to worry about the 6 and the 5.
oh yeah,
Y equals what x plus what?
y equals, 3/5, x plus 9,
There you go.
so
Yeah.
the x not, just not,
Right, we don't worry about putting numbers in for x and y once we write the equation. We put numbers in for x and y to figure out our equation. Does that make sense? So we substituted the point, -5, 6, and put them in the right spot. -5 for x, 6 for y. We put 3/5 in for m, because that was the slope. We solve for b, and then we write the equation. We just leave it y and x. We just put in the m value and the b value. Remember, m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. That coming back to you a little bit? That's review, right? That stuff your book says you're supposed to know already. Okay? So we're reviewing a few things to remind you of what you're supposed to know before we hit actually section 1.1. Okay? There's another way to do this problem. It says a linear equation written in this form, y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. These ones are called subscripts. So it just tells you, separates an x from x sub 1 and x are different x's. Y and y sub 1 are different y's. And the slope of the line is m, again. The x1, y1 is the point that the line's going through. M is still the slope. All right, so sometimes they want us to put it in this, which is called point slope form. Okay, and now there's a little picture of our xy point, which we don't know, but our x1, y1, we do know that point. Okay, but what they're going to do here, you got 2 points. If you know that point and that point, you can figure out the slope if you want. Okay, but that's just a little picture of that going with us. All right, so again, Just what I told you, M is our slope still, x1, y1 is the point that it passes through. So it says, write an equation in point slope form of the line that passes through. So it's the same type of problem, but they want you to put it in a different form. Instead of slope intercept form, they want you to put it in point slope form. So all you're doing is substituting those numbers in for x, y, x1, y1, and m. So I would write y minus 3 equals 3/4 times the quantity x minus -8. Getting jumpy on me. There we go. So that's substituting in. What happens when you have x minus a -8? Becomes what? Minus a negative is plus, right? Addition. So that's what it looks like. Now, when I do a problem like this, they ask to put it in that form, so that's in that form. But I usually just go ahead, distribute, and add the 3 and put it in slope intercept, because that's what we're used to seeing. But right now, what they want us to do is put it in that slope intercept form. I'm sorry, point slope form. Okay? So those are the two ways two types of problems you're gonna work on practice today. Okay? Just a little review to get us going. Start doing some thinking algebraically and getting a little algebra. That's algebra 1 stuff though, right? So, any questions on those two examples? Okay. All I have for you to do for homework is a worksheet. And it has these two examples on it. I just, copied and pasted that on there. And then there's some problems underneath that you're going to do. All right, so do all the problems. I think there's 12 of them. Like 6 of the first type and 6 of the other type. Okay? And then there's stuff on the back, but that's the stuff we're doing tomorrow. So you don't have to do that. If you want to look it over, you can. But so just do this side. Tomorrow we're going to do this side. Okay? So you'll probably be able to get this done in class, and then you won't have any extra stuff to take home. Okay. Old, Caleb, and Caleb. You're welcome. Did I count wrong? Sorry. I gotta remember to stop this, right?